So this was your smallpox. Now comes the treatment for smallpox. So smallpox vaccine, usually it was given like before, it was not given like when do we give the vaccine? To prevent from the disease. But in case of smallpox, usually it was given within 3 days of exposure. Means the virus has entered your body, but then after the entrance of the virus into your body, if it is given after 3 days of exposure, then the severity was very less. Okay, after 3 days. And if after 4 to 7 days it was given, even then the severity can be modified. But if after 7 days also proper treatment was not undertaken, then what can happen is it might lead to those severe complications such as your heart diseases, increase in blood pressure, or severe fall in your blood pressure, or your respiratory complications. So treatment needs to be given at the proper time before like 7 days of incubation. Okay, other than this, usually what you do is you give the supportive treatment. Supportive treatment means if the person is having it, is supportive treatment is according to your clinical feature. Okay, according to the clinical features, like if you are having a fever, they will give you medicines for fever. If you are having wounds, then they will give you wound care. If the infection is severe, then you will get treatment for your infection, example antibiotics. Okay, and also fluid therapy. Fluid therapy means IV fluid. If the person is not eating well, then the person will go for IV fluid, that is your saline solution. And also if the person's respiratory system got affected, he will need ventilator assistance. That is when you connect a ventilator, that process is known as intubation. Okay, INTUBATION, intubation. When the ventilator is connected, that is called intubation. When the ventilator is disconnected, that is known as extubation. So this is what you call as the supportive treatment. Supportive treatment means it is according to the clinical features that are seen. Okay, whatever features will be seen in the person, according to that the treatment will be undertaken. So in July 2018, okay, another drug that was approved for smallpox treatment was tecovirimat. Okay, I'll tell you the spelling. TECO, tecovirimat, VIRIMAT. So this was the first approved drug, okay, by the Food and Drug Administration. This was the first approved drug for smallpox. There was another drug, as I said, this smallpox virus, it affects your bloodstream, and then when this blood goes into your several organs, so it affects the other organs as well. So sometimes what happens is that during smallpox the person has got serious kidney toxicity, means your kidneys also get affected. So in those cases the drug that was given was cidofovir, CIDOFOVIR, cidofovir. Okay, this was another drug which was given in case of your kidney toxicity. And the vaccine that was given for smallpox was in block letters ACAM 2000. It was usually used in US. ACAM 2000. Okay, so these are some vaccines and the medications that we give for smallpox. And apart from all these are given. Apart from this, depending upon what are the signs and symptoms in the person, the treatment differs. Okay, is it clear? Smallpox. Is it clear? Smallpox. Okay. So next we will discuss about chickenpox. So the virus that leads to chickenpox is your varicella herpes zoster virus. Okay, varicella herpes zoster virus. Spelling VARICE VARICE varicella herpes, different word, okay, HERPES, herpes zoster virus, ZOSTER, zoster virus. So this is the organism, or this is the virus that causes your chickenpox. And chickenpox can lead to your epidemic as well as endemic. Epidemic means it is widespread, okay, widespread in a particular area or in a particular community at a particular time. Okay, means at a same time or at the same period of time, many people in the society or many people in the community are affected by it. So it can lead to your epidemic. And endemic means found in a particular group of people. For example, if only the children are affected, then you will see that in that community most of the children are affected. So this is your epidemic and endemic. So it can lead to these two forms, okay. And I hope you all know what is pandemic. Pandemic means it is spread all over the world. That is your pandemic. Epidemic means widespread in a particular community at a particular time. Okay, endemic means it is found among particular people or in a certain area. That is endemic. And pandemic means it is widespread all over the world. That is your pandemic. So now I told you about the infectious organism. Now let's come to the clinical features. So usually it is said that the incubation period, okay, the incubation period for chickenpox is, it is considered about 15 days, but the range that varies from 7 to 21 days. Okay, the range varies from 7 to 21 days and it is for about 15 days. So what happens here is, it shows all the signs and symptoms of your infection. Okay, before that let me tell you, this meeting might get disconnected after a few minutes, so please join again, okay, if it gets disconnected. So there are some infectious signs. There are 4 signs of infections. Okay, so these 4 signs are rubor, 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 tumor, TUMOUR, tumor, Keller, CALOR, Keller, and dollar, DOLOR, dollar. Rubor, tumor, Keller, and dollar. So these are the signs of infections. And not only for chickenpox, but in any kind of infection, these are the 4 signs. You will find these 4 signs. Now let me tell you what does this means. Rubor means redness. R for rubor, R for redness. So rubor means redness. Keller means hot. Tumor means swelling. Any kind of swelling is called tumor. And dolor means pain. So these 4 signs, these are the 4 infectious signs, and you will get this in any kind of infection. So these 4 signs, that is redness, hotness, swelling and pain, so you will find it in chickenpox as well. Clear till now the signs of infection? Clear, or you want me to repeat this, the signs of infection? Shall I repeat? Okay. So I hope it's clear. So you will get to see these 4 signs in chickenpox as well. And apart from this, the person will have nausea. Nausea means the tendency to vomit. That is nausea. Then vomiting, muscle pain, okay, loss of appetite and headache. So it's these signs and symptoms are kind of similar to your smallpox. That is, the person will have fever, the person will have body pain, muscle pain, the person will have headache and vomiting. So all these signs, these are similar to your smallpox. And here also you will get to see the rashes and blisters. Rashes means you will only see this reddish discoloration, and there will be this itchiness and they will be very irritating. So these are the rashes. And next you will also get to see the blisters. Blisters means these will be fluid filled. Okay, you will find these fluid filled areas in the body. So these are your blisters. I'll show you the picture. Can you see this? Can you see this? These 3 stages?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the first one is you will see only the red or the pinkish bumps over your skin. Okay, these will be slightly elevated. Okay, these will be slightly elevated and they will be red in color. So these are the rashes. Next you will find is fluid filled blisters, or these are also called as vesicles. So it will be, these will be filled with fluid. And the last is you will find this crust and scab lesions. Crust is, as you can see, this wound is all dried up, and in somewhere you can also see that there are this blackish discoloration, which is the skin have dried up or it is starting to dry up. Okay, can you all see the picture?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these are the 3 stages. First one was you will get this only red or pinkish bumps. These are like whenever a mosquito bites you, sometimes you get this small bumps in your skin. So it will be like that, only red or pinkish bumps. Then next one you will get this fluid filled blisters, means these within these bumps there will be fluid, okay, and they will get bigger and also you will see this fluid within them. And the last one is the crust and the scab lesions, means this has started to dry up, and then you will also see this blackish color of the skin, which is a bit harder than your usual skin, and it usually occurs when these wounds they start healing and drying up. And the rashes, these are similar, okay, sorry, not rashes, I mean to say the marks or the scars. So these are similar as in case of smallpox. So sometimes they will last for years and years after that, and sometimes it might last a lifetime. Okay, the scars. Clear? The different stages? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in these blisters which are fluid filled, they might be painful as well. Okay, you will get pain when you touch these blisters, or whenever you touch these scabs, they are usually painful. Okay, since they are filled with fluid, so they will be painful. And it is similar here also. Sometimes the infection, this might get fatal, and then it might reach your bloodstream as well. And after that you might develop septicemia. Septicemia means infection in the blood. That is known as your septicemia. SEPTICAEMIA, septicemia. Septicemia means infection in your blood. Sometimes we say that we are getting this septic, so it is actually, the whole word is septicemia. Okay. And now if we come to your investigations, investigations are same. By the rashes and by the blisters in your body, you will know that you have got chickenpox. Okay, just by seeing that, just by seeing your scars, just by seeing your blisters, one will get this clear cut view that they have got chickenpox. But apart from it, if you want to check again for a confirmation, then you can go for the blood test. Okay, then this blood test, it will detect your varicella zoster virus, and after that the disease will be confirmed. Okay, or sometimes these PCR reactions means polymerase chain reaction, so that can also be done, and through these tests one will be confirmed that they have got this virus within their body. And mode of transmission is airborne or droplet infection. Airborne means you can get it through your air, through the air, or sometimes through the droplets. As I said, these blisters are filled with fluid, so sometimes what might happen is that these blisters, they start cracking. Okay, so after some time, once they crack, this fluid, it comes out, and if this fluid comes in contact with another person, so that can also lead to your chickenpox. So that is your droplet infection, and also it can be airborne. And immunization or vaccination, it is usually, it should be given within like 72 hours of exposure. Okay, if the, it is known, if the person is getting like fever, headache and vomiting, and if the blood test is done at the proper time before the appearance of the rashes, that is before 72 hours or within 72 hours of exposure, then you give this varicella zoster immunoglobulin. Okay, that is the vaccination. And vaccination usually, like as a protective measure, if you want to take it as a preventive measure, preventive means before the occurrence of the disease. Okay, so before this chickenpox has occurred, as a protective measure, okay, this vaccination is given. For example, we all take polio vaccines, we have all taken that polio vaccine, right? So why were we given the polio vaccine? To prevent us from developing poliomyelitis. So similar is in case of chickenpox. So this chickenpox vaccination can also be given, like usually it is given from 12 to 15 months of the baby till the age of 3 to 4 years. Okay, in different doses it is given. So this vaccination is also given to prevent the baby or to prevent the child to stop this virus from entering their body. Now the management here is also similar to smallpox, like it is supportive. Okay, if the person is having fever, he will be given fever medications, then the wound care will be taken. If septicemia is present, you need medical management, antiviral medications are given. If infection is there, antibiotics are also given. So the treatment is always supportive, it is based on your signs and symptoms. Any breathing difficulty occurs, then you can go for artificial breathing, like you might need oxygen support. Like if septicemia occurs, that is your blood is infected and it reaches your lungs, then you will of course have breathing difficulties. Because of that, you might need oxygen, that is your artificial breathing. You might need ICU management, and sometimes you might need to go for ventilation as well. So the management is symptomatic. Like if the fever is present, paracetamol will be given. So whatever the signs and symptoms will be, depending on that, the medications are given or the treatment is given. So this was all about your chicken pox. Clear? Clear till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll wind up the class here. Tomorrow we will discuss about the differences between smallpox and chickenpox. So since today I explained you all about smallpox and chickenpox, so I hope you can find some more differences between these two. Okay. So if you can, just find out some differences. Let me know tomorrow. I'll also tell you what are the main differences, but I want you all to find it out once. Okay. So CR, you give me the attendance of this class.
Ma'am, she is not present.
Okay, then any one of you can just collect the attendance and give it to me, okay?